So far we have done our constitution. So for those who are new, it's like it's the second part of constitution classes, right? So when we look at our constitution, what comes in your mind? जब हम देखते हैं वर्ड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट, सुना बहुत है, देखा बहुत है शुरू से कि हाँ ठीक है, चाहे लॉ स्टूडेंट्स नहीं भी रहे हम तब भी हमें पता है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है एक इंडिया का, राइट. इंडिपेंडेंट हुए हम, सबसे पहले हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अडॉप्ट किया. दैट्स व्हाट वी टुक. डेमोक्रेसी, वी अडॉप्टेड दोज प्रिंसिपल्स, वी अडॉप्टेड फंडामेंटल राइट्स. राइट्स सबको पता होते हैं, अपने ड्यूटीज़ नहीं पता होती, पर राइट्स सबको पता होते हैं. सो व्हाट डज दिस टर्म कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मीन्स टू यू? हाउ डू यू डिफाइन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? So for those who are new, I would love it if you would answer. क्या होता है constitution?
Constitution can be said it's like a mirror image of India, what it's made of.
Mirror image of India.
Yeah.
So I would say mirror image of people.
People of India. Yeah.
That's what we wrote in the preamble itself. We the people are giving to ourselves, right, the constitution, the entire constitution, having certain principles stating for equality, liberty, right, we have article 21 that we so much are happy about. Right to life, किस तरह से लाइफ एक्सपेंड करते जा रहे हैं धीरे धीरे करके आर्टिकल 21 को. सो ऑल दैट इज एम्बॉडीड इन योर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इटसेल्फ. जितने भी बाकी लॉज बने हैं, all they have to be in line with the constitution itself, right? You cannot have penal laws. Penal laws means those laws which punishes, which provides for punishment and offenses, right? They have to be in line with part 3 of the constitution, right? Because all these laws as given under article 13, क्या बात करता है आर्टिकल 13? Laws which are inconsistent with, right, और against the part 3. So it says अगर कोई लॉ पहले बना हुआ था कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से, जैसे अगर आप बात करें आईपीसी की, it was made in 1860, right? We adopted the constitution in 19 partially earlier, yes, in 1949 on 26th November we partially adopted the constitution. Some of the principles related to election, universal adult franchise, all those, they came into being earlier, a little earlier, for elections to happen, right? Then afterwards, on our Republic Day, we adopted the entire constitution. Article 13 says any law which is made before the constitution came into being, as far as it is going against the part 3. Part 3 में क्या है? Fundamental rights. So without going again and again what is the importance of fundamental rights, I would just say these are the rights which are so fundamental that every human being, just because he is a human being, must possess them. Right? So when we look at article 13, it says any law made before the constitution came into being, if it is going against part 3 of the constitution, it will be invalid, right? It will be unconstitutional, it will be inoperated, null and void, empty, without any operation of law. And as far as laws which are made after the constitution came into being, that is also dealt in the same manner. By saying that if you are trying to create a law, कौन बनाता है law? The legislature. कैसे पता चला हमें? कैसे पता चला कि legislature law बनाता है? We are moving towards our topic of the day, right? So how do we know that it is the legislature that makes the law? Because this is what the constitution embodies in itself. It says there has to be 3 organs of the government, right? Starting with the legislature. क्या वर्क है लेजिस्लेचर का? To create laws, to create legislation, enactments, acts. सुनते ना पॉक्सो एक्ट, रिसेंटली बहुत न्यूज में था, अब और कोई सा लॉ है जो अभी याद आ रहा है रिसेंटली? थोड़े टाइम पहले SC/STs एक्ट, उसमें अमेंडमेंट के रिगार्डिंग बहुत बात हुई. तो दीज आर ऑल लॉज विच आर क्रिएटेड, विच आर मेड बाय द लेजिस्लेचर टू डू व्हाट? क्या करने के लिए?
Set up rules and guidances
फॉर whom?
for the people.
Again, for the people, right? To set up some procedures, for some rules, so that people who are living in that country, in India, can be regulated, so that we can have a regulated behavior, right? किसने बताया ये हमें? लेजिस्लेचर ने बताया बना के एक्ट. फिर कौन आता है? क्या काम है एग्जीक्यूटिव का?
Execute the laws made by the legislature.
अब भाई इन्होंने लॉ बना दिया सोच समझ के, हाँ इस चीज़ की रिक्वायरमेंट है, उसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट लागू करने का. कैसे करेंगे लागू? उन्हें पता चलेगा. इस एरिया में फॉर एग्जांपल गोवा की बात करते हैं, देन वी टॉक अबाउट यूसीसी. रिसेंटली अभी DPSP क्लास हुई थी, सो आई विल टॉक अबाउट यूसीसी. क्या है यूसीसी? यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड. अगेन वेरी कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल टॉपिक राइट नाउ, राइट? सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट यूसीसी, इट्स टोटली इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन गोवा बट नॉट इन अदर स्टेट्स. ठीक है. और अभी रिसेंटली फिर अभी ये गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि हम भी इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे. कौन सी है? लिख के लाना, कल बताना मेरे को, ठीक है? सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट यूसीसी, इट्स नॉट बीइंग इंप्लीमेंटेड इन द एंटायर इंडिया, in the pan India. It's uniform civil code. So having a uniformity in terms of your civil procedures, civil codes, civil acts related to marriage, related to property, एक सिंगल तरह का. क्यों नहीं कर रहे अभी हम? और क्यों हमने गोवा में कर दिया था यूसीसी अप्लाई? हाँ जी. See, it's not the work of the legislature. They are just going to legislate. They are just going to make laws. Okay, this must happen. There is Article 44, which says there must be uniformity in terms of civil procedure. So be it. The executive will have to look into the implementation part. The effect. How is it going to affect the population? How is it going to affect the people? If we are to implement UCC, we did it in Goa. Why? Because there was uniform population at that time. The majority of the population belonged to a single religion. That was much easier to implement. But if you talk about entire India, pan India, every state, we have numerous religions, right? They have numerous personal laws. That might create a chaos. That's why it's not being implemented at par India. एकदम से नहीं कर रहे हम, ठीक है? This is the work of executive, to execute the laws as and when it is the requirement, to understand what is going to be the implementation part, how is it going to affect the people. उसके बाद वो उसको implement करेंगे, right? Then the third organ, what is it? Judiciary. Now we will have disputes, numerous disputes. लोगों के एक राइट किसी का कॉन्ट्रवीन हो गया, किसी और का हो गया, राइट? लड़ाई चलती रहती है. इंडिया है, सभी कंट्रीज में चलती रहती है लड़ाई. इतने सारे पेंडिंग केसेस हैं, स्टिल सब बोलते हैं कि नहीं तेरे अगेंस्ट में केस ठोक दूंगा, राइट? दिस इज व्हाट वी आर. व्हाई? बिकॉज वी हैव द थर्ड ऑर्गन, जुडिशरी, विद द प्राइमरी रोल टू एडजुडिकेट, टू जज, राइट? To resolve these disputes, to give some sort of remedy to the people. These are the organs of government. कैसे पता चला हमें कि ये ऑर्गन्स हैं गवर्नमेंट के? कहाँ से पावर मिली है हमें? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने बनाई पार्लियामेंट. That this is your role, this is your job, this is how you are going to be appointed, this is how you are going to be elected. Then executives, how are you going to work, right? Where you should not contravene, where you should not, jump into some other people's role. We have Article 52, separation in between your executive and judiciary. Then we have judiciary, that you should do the interpretation of the laws. आपका काम law बनाना नहीं है. No, you are not there to make laws. But yes, if a law is made, you can check whether it is in line with the constitution or not. This is your role, right? All these powers are granted to these organs by the constitution itself. Now when we look at the legislature and when we look at the power to amend a constitution, right? This looks like the job of legislature only, right? It's not the power of judiciary or executive to touch the very constitution of the country. But the legislature, when engaging in this role, has to somewhat change its way of doing the work in terms of amendment of the constitution. Why? जहां से पावर मिली है उसी चीज को आपको डिस्ट्रॉय करने की पावर तो ऑफ कोर्स नहीं होगी आपके पास, राइट? सिंस द लेजिस्लेचर is the making of the constitution itself, then it's highly debatable if I say that the legislature has the power to delete the constitution. Can it do so? Can it delete the part 3 of the constitution? किसने रोका है? किसने रोका है उसको? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कहता है ऐसा? अभी हम पढ़ेंगे. वी आर गोइंग टू रीड द मोस्ट कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल और वी कैन से वन ऑफ द टॉपिक विच इज ऑलवेज डिबेटेड. Why? Because it's always in the nature of judiciary versus legislature. जब से इंडिपेंडेंस हुए हैं, जब से हमारी रिपब्लिक बनी है, तब से ये कंपटीशन चलता आ रहा है दोनों में. ठीक है, किसके पास ज़्यादा पावर है, ये तुम कर सकते हो, नहीं कर सकते. कितना कर सकते हो? अमेंड करना है तो ठीक है. इज इट अनलिमिटेड और रिस्ट्रिक्टेड? किस तरह की पावर है आपके पास, लेजिस्लेटिव और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल? राइट? हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट दिस टर्म? One is legislative power. We are just going through the key terms, right? So that we understand the upcoming the topic, entire topic itself. So when we look at legislative power, क्या मतलब होता है legislative power का? हाँ जी.
Powers that the legislation have.
The power to legislate. The power to legislate, that is the power to make laws, the power to make acts, the power to make statutes, right? Enactments, वही तो power है legislative. दूसरी, if I say this term, constituent powers. What is this now? What is this new term, constituent power? नाम से क्या लग रहा है? कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट का क्या मतलब होता है? कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली सुनी होगी कई बार, राइट? क्या मतलब था, क्या काम था उनका? द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली सिंगल सोल पर्पस वाज टू प्रोवाइड द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट? दिस वाज देयर पर्पस. सो दे कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड समथिंग, दे क्रिएटेड समथिंग, they created the constitution itself. So when I say constituent powers, it means the power of creating, amending, deleting or changing the constitution. Right? This is the constitution. This is the constituent power. Now there is a difference, subtle difference in between these two. When I say legislative power, legislature को power दी constitution ने, उसके अंदर उनको अपनी realm दी एक, right? एक area दिया कि यहाँ पे अब आप you do whatever you want, you make laws, whatever necessary. Second is constituent power, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि अच्छा ठीक है, if I give this power to the legislature in the same manner, the way it makes laws, is it not empowered enough to increase its power? What if, or if I put it in some other way, what if the legislature using this constituent power, right, deletes the other two organs of the government? Because one of the basic role of the judiciary is to keep a check on the other two organs. But if it deletes the judiciary, it deletes the Supreme Court, the provisions related to Supreme Court under the Constitution, the provisions related to the high courts, other courts under the Constitution, then what happens? Right? So there is this difference. This difference was very much evident when we look at the case laws relating to the amendment of the Constitution of India. Now this is the entire summary of today's class. Now let's begin. वाई डू वी नीड अमेंडमेंट इन द फर्स्ट प्लेस? पहली बात तो ये आएगी कि अगर इतना इतनी सारी चैलेंजेस हैं, इतनी डिफिकल्टीज है रिलेटेड टू अमेंडमेंट, वाई डू वी नीड देम? आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वर्कड हार्डली, like very hard, right, for 2 years, more than 2 years and 9 months, right? Yes, right? So they worked for more than 2 years to make the constitution. Then why should we have changes? Why should we allow amendments? करना चाहिए amendment हमें या नहीं करना चाहिए?
अगर कोई चीज़ मतलब गलत हो तो उसमें चेंजिंग करना चाहिए।
गलत हो, जैसे क्या गलत हो? ये भी तो पीपल ऑफ इंडिया ने दिया। देखो अभी जब स्टार्ट की थी हमने क्लास, ही सेड व्हाट इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? इट इज द मिरर ऑफ द mirror image of the people. What people? In 1947 there were different people. Today we are in 2023, we have different generation all together, right? So shouldn't the constitution reflect the image of the present generation, or should it stay at 1947? Right? Now this concept is known as living constitution. When we say with the change in the environment, with the change in the requirement, with the change in the usability or the effect of the constitution or the provision of the constitution, whenever the change is required, it does so in accordance with the need. It shifts itself in accordance with the need of the people. That is what the concept of living constitution is. कैसे कर सकते हैं हम? हाउ डू वी डू दैट? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में एक अमेंडिंग प्रोविजन देखिए कि वेयर एवर रिक्वायर्ड यू कैन अमेंड द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, यू कैन चेंज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट? दिस पार्ट इज आई वुड से सिंपल, राइट? समझ में आता है क्यों चाहिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अमेंडमेंट चाहिए, चलो ठीक है, चेंज होने के लिए विद टाइम कितना कर सकते हैं, हाउ मच वी कैन चेंज. नाउ देयर इज अनदर क्वेश्चन, कितनी पावर दें चेंज करने की? पूरा नया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन रिप्लेस करके लगा सकते हैं, इतनी पावर दें, या कुछ लिमिटेशन होनी चाहिए? कौन करेगा? सभी को तो पावर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दे रहा है. हु इज गोइंग टू बी एम्पावर्ड टू चेंज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? देयर इज अनदर क्वेश्चन. व्हाट एल्स? कुछ और आ रहा है क्वेश्चन आपके माइंड में? हैव यू एवर हर्ड अबाउट रेफरेंडम? जम्मू कश्मीर के बारे में जब बात करते थे, रेफरेंडम सुना है कभी? क्या होता है रेफरेंडम? डू वी हैव द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रेफरेंडम इन इंडिया? रेफरेंडम का एक क्रूड लैंग्वेज में मीनिंग है कि जो लॉज बने हुए हैं, सब बने हुए हैं, वो सब एक बार साइड में रख दो, लोगों को लेके आओ और वोटिंग कराओ किसी भी चीज़ पे. अगर उन्होंने वोटिंग के प्रोसेस में बोल दिया कि ठीक है ये हटना चाहिए, ना इट शुड बी अवॉइडेड, उन्होंने बोला इट शुड बी रिटेन्ड, इट शुड बी रिटेन्ड. डू वी हैव समथिंग लाइक दैट अंडर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया? नो, इट गिव्स नो स्पेस फॉर रेफरेंडम, even though it was made by the people of India, right, for the people of India, but it has no space for referendum. That's why we adopted a different course, that is through amendment. And we said that this power, now there were two questions with this. How much power to be given to amend the constitution? And second is, who will amend the constitution? Right? These two are the very important questions that we have to answer before we proceed with the amendment of the constitution itself. कितनी पावर देनी चाहिए? कोई लिमिटेशन होनी चाहिए उस पर? ठीक है, कुछ लिमिटेशन तो होनी चाहिए. That we can agree upon. There must be some limitation. ये नहीं पता कितनी है अभी, मैं कुछ नहीं बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर वगैरह कुछ बात नहीं कर रहा मैं, लेकिन कुछ लिमिटेशन होनी चाहिए, राइट? दिस इज वेरी मच अंडरस्टूड. अनलिमिटेड नहीं हो सकती, इतनी हो सकती कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को साइड में रखा, नया लाके लगा दिया कि भैया कल से कोई जुडिशरी नहीं है, हमारी मेजोरिटी में गवर्नमेंट है, हम चलाएंगे सब कुछ, राइट? वी आर गोइंग टू बी द एग्जीक्यूटिव, वी आर गोइंग टू बी द जुडिशरी, एवरीथिंग. This all can be done by the legislature now, right? We cannot do that. That is not allowed in a country which is governed by a rule of law, right? Now, second thing, who will amend? कौन करेगा? वही ऑर्गन जो ऑलरेडी लेजिस्लेशन बनाता है. यस, दैट इज द बेस्ट सूटेड वन. बट इज इट नॉट डेंजरस? जैसे मैंने अभी बात की थी कि वो इस पावर का मिसयूज भी कर सकता है. तो क्या करेंगे हम? थोड़ा प्रोसेस को रिजिड कर देंगे, थोड़ा टफ कर देंगे प्रोसेस को. एक स्पेशल स्टेप ऐड कर लेंगे व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट changing the constitution, when we talk about using the power to amend the constitution. So we are going to differentiate in between the legislative power and the constituent power, not in terms of person who is going to exercise the power, but in terms of the process involved. Right? We adopted the second part, the second thing, where we say that yes, it is the legislature which amends. It is because it is best suited. It knows how to create laws. It knows what's going to be the need of the hour. It's elected by the people, right? Neither the executive nor the judiciary is elected. It's just the legislative which is elected. So they are the best suited. They know what the people of India wants. Now second part, adding another safeguard. A safeguard to keep it sure that they do not misuse their powers. कैसे करेंगे? We involve some other people to ratify. We involve some other authority to ratify the same, so that a lot of people are involved and they can keep a check on this power, right? This is the entire procedure, power and what all given under Article 368. So let's proceed now when we look at the need of the amendment. अब तक कोई किसी तरह का डाउट किसी चीज में? कोई भी डाउट नहीं है?
So back in constituent power, you talked about deletion of constitution.
Yes.
In the very realistic way, is that really possible?
In a very realistic way, if the amending power is very much, if the amending power is very much at par with the legislative power, it is possible.
Deletion.
So yes, deletion. So if it is a country like, I would say UK, it does not have a constitution, written one, right? But the legislature is at par with the constituent power. In that case, they can replace any rule, any principle, any rule of law, anything, any fundamental right. But if we talk about a country which has a constitution, written constitution, exhaustive one, like India, right? It's not possible.
Somewhere I have read that the fundamental rights are the negative rights because they cannot be repelled away from the citizens, from the people. So doesn't it really?
What do you understand by the term negative rights?
That the state or the head cannot.
In terms of state, they are negative rights. Why? Because it's an obligation on them. Yes.
But in terms of that's why something.
Yes.
But doesn't it contradict the whole meaning behind this right, the negative right? Because
No, we are not using them in a way that they are negative.
No.
Right? It's just that they put obligation on the state. Under Article 12, we have defined what state is.
But
Then
the bottom line is that they can delete it.
they can be deleted. If we talk about a country like India, even we have tried deleting them. Right? Even we succeeded in deleting one of the fundamental right, the right to property. We deleted it from part 3, put it in 300A. Said this is a legal right now, not a fundamental right anymore. But it created a chaos. A chaos was related to how much power you have with regards to amendment. That is why the judiciary had to be innovative. It came with the basic structure doctrine. क्या है basic structure doctrine? बोल रही है अब तो कर ही लेते हैं बात. Basic structure doctrine. I'm just trying to make you understand why we cannot delete the fundamental rights. Right? Basic structure. बिल्डिंग देख रहे हो ये किस चीज पे रुकी हुई है बिल्डिंग? द वेरी कोर, द वेरी फाउंडेशन ऑफ दिस बिल्डिंग, उसके ऊपर रुकी हुई है. अगर अर्थक्वेक आएगा, वॉल्स कैसी हैं फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, पिलर्स कैसे हैं, फाउंडेशन कैसी थी फर्क पड़ेगा. राइट? इफ यू लुक एट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, देयर आर सम प्रिंसिपल्स which are so much so embodied in the constitution. If they are removed, we will kill the very soul of the constitution. Right? So when we look at the principle of basic structure, it says there are these several principles, there are several rules, right? that cannot be deleted from the constitution, and if they are deleted, it will totally, destroy the constitution. So if we are to delete article 14, which says right to equality, we should not have equality at all. The state can discriminate people on any basis. There is no article 14 anymore, right? That will create a chaos, that will destroy the entire constitution, because the rules of natural justice will not prevail, the rule of law will not prevail, fair treatment cannot be done to people. We can say that people in Delhi are not allowed to go out after 8 p.m. Otherwise there is a shoot at sight order, right? They can do so. They have no restriction anymore. That is why. So when we talk about basic structure, these fundamental principles which must be saved at all cost, that is what the judiciary came up with. It said, when we talk about article 368 per se, अभी पढ़ेंगे हम डिटेल में, अगर आप आर्टिकल 368 की बात करें तो उसमें अमेंडमेंट का प्रोसीजर दे रखा है. क्या उसमें पावर भी दे रखी है? दे सेड यस इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इन द केस ऑफ केशवानंद भारती, राइट, 1973, बहुत फंडामेंटल केस, सबने सुना होगा कभी ना कभी. तो अगर हम बात करें केशवानंद भारती केस, उन्होंने कहा कि कुछ ऐसे प्रिंसिपल्स हैं जो हिलाए नहीं जा सकते. तो जो पावर है अमेंडमेंट की, इज इट अनलिमिटेड? यस, इट इज अनलिमिटेड, but it is restricted only for the basic structure. जो ये बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर है, जो पिलर्स हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के, आप उनको नहीं छेड़ सकते, आप उनको ऑल्टर नहीं कर सकते. या अगर आपने कुछ ऑल्टरेशन करी, आपने कोई अमेंडमेंट करी, तो जुडिशरी के पास ये पावर रहेगी चेक करने के लिए दैट इज इट वायलेटिंग द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और नॉट, राइट? सो वी आर गोइंग टू डेवलप ऑन दिस इन टुडेज क्लास by beginning with the history of this. That started with Sajjan Singh case that started with Shankari Prasad first in 1951. Back in 1951, when we talk about Shankari Prasad case, right? In that case, the question was with regards to one of the amendment that was made, and in that we are talking about how much power is there with the legislative to amend the constitution. कितनी पावर है, वही लिमिटेशन क्या है उसकी, क्या कोई लिमिटेशन है या नहीं है, is it limited or is it unlimited? In the Shankari Prasad case they said no, there is no restriction as such, they have unlimited unfettered powers. Why? Because there is nothing which discriminates, which differentiates in between legislative power and constituent power. कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली तो इलेक्टेड भी नहीं थी, एटलीस्ट दे आर इलेक्टेड, दे आर वे मोर कॉम्पिटेंट टू चेंज, राइट? दैट मीन्स दे हैव अनलिमिटेड पावर्स. द सेम प्रिंसिपल वाज फॉलोड इन सज्जन सिंह केस. देन केम गोलकनाथ, राइट? इसके बाद में आपका सज्जन सिंह केस आया इन 1964. देयर अगेन दे reiterated the same. They said that it is the unfettered powers with the parliament. They can do anything with regards to the constitution under their power of amendment. They talked about the constituent and legislative power. They said no, the laws, even though when we talk about the legislative power and constituent power, it is being exercised by the same organ. There is no difference as such, only the procedure is different. So when that procedure is being followed, they have unfettered power. Again, limitation तो कुछ नहीं हुई अभी भी. Then afterwards, in 1967, we have another landmark case of Golaknath. अब Golaknath case में the Supreme Court took a total reverse. They said that both the prior cases are, not a good law. They said this power is not unlimited. The power is limited. Limited to what? When we look at Article 13, बात करी थी ना अभी Article 13 की, और Article 368. Article 368 में तो बोल दिया कुछ भी अमेंड करो, कोई लिमिटेशन नहीं दे रखी, पावर है, प्रोसीजर है, पावर है, करो अमेंड. Article 13 में बोला कि भैया जो भी लॉ बना रहे हो, कोई भी लॉ चेंज कर रहे हो, कोई भी चेंजेस ला रहे हो लॉ में, that should not contravene Part 3 of the Constitution. Now there is a conflict in these two. The Supreme Court said that when there is such conflict, when it says that part 3 should not be touched, should not be changed, should not be amended, it will prevail. It means the power that is with the parliament, it is not unlimited in its nature. It's limited, and very much so in the Golaknath case. I would say the decision was correct, but the the ratio behind it was not correct. Why? Because Article 368 gives unfettered powers. There was no change as such, and that led to 24th constitutional amendment. लेजिस्लेचर क्यों पीछे रहेगी? जुडिशरी डिसाइड कर रही है अगर उनकी पावर के लिए, लेजिस्लेचर विल डू समथिंग अबाउट इट. So in the 24th constitutional amendment, they amended Article 13 as well as Article 368. And then they said that under Article 13, right, if there are any changes under Article 368, that is not a law. And vice versa. They also put one of the provision in Article 368 by saying that any changes in the constitution, any amendment in the constitution does not constitute a law under Article 13. So they were trying to surpass, they were trying to bypass the decision that was given by the Supreme Court in Golaknath case. Now in 1973, we come up with Keshavanand Bharti case. It's 23rd April. Right? So on this date, the Supreme Court gave the landmark judgment of Keshavanand Bharti. नाम सुना होगा, decision क्या था? So is it the unlimited power that is with the parliament, or is it limited power? Yes? Unlimited, limited बताओ. हाँ जी? Limited. They said it's unlimited power. There is no limitation by the constitution itself. Unlimited in terms of the provisions of the constitution. कोई लिमिटेशन नहीं दे रखी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. आर्टिकल 13 इज डिफरेंट, आर्टिकल 368 is different. The law which is made, the amendment which is done by the legislature when using its constituent power under Article 368 does not mean a law under Article 13. That absolutely correct. Why? Because Article 13 talks about limitation on the legislative power. So they agreed. They said yes, you are correct. The 24th constitutional amendment is absolutely correct, that you have unlimited powers. You made this explicit now. That was implicit earlier. You made this explicit. But then again, then came the question of limitation. Then came the question of misuse of having such unlimited power. This cannot be the idea of the constitution makers, to give this power to the upcoming parliaments. राइट इतनी पावर दे देना कि हर 5 साल बाद जो भी गवर्नमेंट आ रही है, जो भी पार्लियामेंट बन रही है, उसके पास इतनी पावर होगी तो चेंज कर सकती है पूरा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. इतनी पावर तो नहीं सोची होगी उन्होंने. दिस कैन नेवर हैव बीन देयर आइडिया, राइट. कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया created the doctrine of basic structure. It adopted the doctrine of basic structure. It said that there are some principles which cannot be changed, which cannot be amended. The power is unfettered. Even if we talk about part 3, they can amend the part 3. They can make changes to the part 3 of the constitution, right? But it should not contravene the basic structure. So when we look at the principle of equality, it starts from the preamble itself. Preamble में equality की बात शुरू करते हैं हम. It flows in the entire constitution, right? When you talk about the principle of, the other basic principles that we follow in India, right? Democracy, republic. We have adopted a federal structure, right? These are some principles that cannot be changed. We have adopted rule of law, judicial review. क्या होता है judicial review? हाँ जी, बताओ क्या होता है जुडिशियल रिव्यू? क्या रिव्यू? इतनी बार बता दो यार.
It can check, like the judiciary can check the changes, and it can give its own
हाँ हाँ बताओ, सही बता रहे हो।
और आइडियाज दे सकता है वो कि ये चीज़ होनी चाहिए, अमेंडमेंट,
आइडियाज नहीं देते, जुडिशरी का काम आइडिया देना नहीं है बिल्कुल भी,
सजेशंस।
इंटरप्रेट करना है। इट इंटरप्रेट्स द लॉ, इट इंटरप्रेट्स whether a law made by the parliament, a law made by the legislature is in line with the part 3 of the constitution or not. So when we say judicial review, they review the law made by the parliament, right? Either by the state legislature or the union legislature, right? They review that law and check whether it is contravening part 3 of the constitution or not. If yes, it will be termed to be unconstitutional. So now न्यूज़ में आता है अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डिक्लेयर कर दिया, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डिक्लेयर कर दिया। अभी रिसेंटली 105th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट हुई थी हमारी, इट वाज डिक्लेयर टू बी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, राइट? सो इन ऑल दैट इज द पावर ऑफ जुडिशियल रिव्यू. Then again, in the upcoming cases, we expanded this basic structure doctrine. We included several terms, several things in this, including basic structure. में आपने judicial review को भी part बनाया. That the power of judiciary to review all the laws made by the legislature is a basic structure. That cannot be altered, that cannot be changed, that cannot be taken away. कैसे आई ये पावर सारी की सारी? बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन से, ठीक है? दिस इज बेसिकली द अमेंडमेंट.
सर जब हम बात कर रहे थे कि हाउ मच पावर, मतलब कितनी पावर है कि हम अमेंडमेंट कर सकते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर, तो उसमें लिमिटेशन थी. तो लिमिटेशन का एक और आंसर है कि जुडिशरी वो लिमिटेशन जो
बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन, बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन इज दैट लिमिटेशन.
डॉक्ट्रिन की एक जुडिशरी का कोई आइडिया है?
Ah, it's an innovation of judiciary itself. Yes, but it's not the judiciary that is restricting. Judiciary got a sword, or I would say a shield, right? That shield which protects the inherent principles on which the constitution was made, right? That shield itself is the basic structure, and that is the limitation. That is the limitation. If we are to talk about Article 21, क्या है Article 21 में? राइट टू लाइफ, राइट? एक लाइन का है वो सिर्फ. नो पर्सन्स लाइफ और पर्सनल लिबर्टी कैन बी कर्टेल्ड एक्सेप्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ, राइट? अब इसमें मैं थोड़ा और ऐड करना चाहूँ, एक्सेप्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ हटा के, राइट? एंड दैट लॉ मस्ट बी जस्ट, फेयर एंड रीजनेबल. मैं ये भी ऐड कर देता हूँ इसमें. विल इट बी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल और नॉट? दिस चेंज अंडर आर्टिकल 21 done by the legislature, will it be constitutional or not? Now first question आपके माइंड में आना चाहिए, is it contravening basic structure? Right? Article 21 already been interpreted that way by the judiciary. They are already saying that yes, it's not just the procedure should be there, that procedure must be just, fair and reasonable. They have already done this, right? That is being explicit by the legislature now. It can be constitutional because it is not contravening the basic structure. So our class of amendment is going to be in line with the basic structure doctrine. Whether we should have a basic structure or not, that we will discuss in the next class. अभी हम सिर्फ amendment के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं. Starting with, कोई डाउट तो नहीं है इसमें अब तक? So starting with, why do we need amendment in the first place? क्यों चाहिए? क्यों चाहिए amendment? हमने देख लिया. To live with the people, so that the constitution grows with the people, right? It is not stuck to the part of 1947 where it's still there, and we, the generation, upcoming generation, has some changed values, and that value is not being reflected in the constitution. That must not occur. That's why we need a change. We need constant changes in the constitution. If you look at the recent case of Sabarimala case, right? That showed the change in that scenario that we were talking about. पहले क्या था that okay, there was women who were menstruating, they should not be allowed to go to the temple. But now when we talk about this 2023, we have changed, right? We have changed that, we have accepted that that norm cannot go any further, right? That should be changed. We should have a developed mentality, and that is why we changed it. That shows living structure of the constitution, the living nature of the constitution. If we look at US constitution, living constitution, it is a living one and a loose constitutionalism, which means it can change easily, pretty easily. in accordance with time. Now again we have seen the drawback of the same. The drawback means anyone can usurp all the power. We never had a rigid, way too rigid that cannot be changed constitution. We do not have a way too flexible kind of constitution. We have chosen the middle path, the middle way, right? Where we can proceed with the changes, but also have a safety valve, also have a safety procedure, so that this power of amendment is not being, violated, is not being misused by anyone. In the Indian context, living constitution is said to develop alongside the needs of the society. With the need of the society, we change the provisions of the constitution. It's not like we change the basic structure, that remains the same, because that has those principles upon which the entire society of India perishes, lives, right? So when we look at providing a more malleable tool for the governments to fulfill the needs of the people, to fulfill the requirements of the people, I don't think you need to write, because we do have proper notes for them. You'll get the notes. You just have to understand, right? Facts थोड़े याद ना रहे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए टॉपिक की. दैट इज़ वे मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. बिकॉज जब एग्जाम में आप लिखने बैठोगे ना, वहाँ पे हो सकता है फैक्ट एक दो ऊपर नीचे हो, कोई केस का नाम कुछ और लिख दिया, किसी का कुछ और लिख दिया, बट जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है टॉपिक, अगर वो क्लियर लिख के आओगे वहाँ पे, मार्क्स नहीं घटेंगे एज सच. ठीक है. So when we look at this, the idea is associated with the view that contemporary society should be taken into account when looking at these constitutional phrases. The contemporary need of the society, the changes, right? That changes our view of interpreting the constitution itself. That is why we need a constitution which can be amended. But then again, it should not be way too rigid, nor way too flexible. It should be in the midway, where there is a safety process involved in this. So amending procedure is neither too rigid nor flexible, rather acts as a safety valve, where others cannot violate, where one of the organ of the government cannot violate its power, right? So Pandit Nehru on this need of amendment said that a solid and permanent as the constitution must be, जितना solid, powerful, which cannot be destroyed, right? जितना ज़रूरी वो है, ऐसा एक solid constitution होना, इसके principles दिन दिन में change नहीं होते. It must also permit national growth. साथ साथ में nation की growth करनी भी ज़रूरी है, right? With that, with change in time, the requirements change, and that should be adopted by the constitution before it's too late to accept it. And that is why, because the new parliament would represent every adult in India, it's the right that house elected so should have an opportunity to make such change as it wants to. So he said that yes, amendment is a must in any sort of constitution. Then Professor Kagzi, have you heard about him? He was a legend. He was a member of the Constituent Assembly itself, right? And he has several views with regards to constitution that you are going to love. He talked about the president, the position of the president. क्या है president? What is president in your eyes? Some may say he is the puppet of the government, right? But he said no, he is not the puppet. He is the father. He is the fatherly figure. Why? Because he guides them, and whenever they are going in the wrong way, he drags them out, right? So he acts as a safety valve. He again said about the amendment procedure that amendment is permissible for removal of difficulties that are experienced in the working of the constitution. When we will proceed, we just created a constitution, right? It's not like we are going to create everything, in a top notch, which cannot be defeated, which is not wrong at all, right? We need changes. With time we are going to develop. पता चलेगी क्या क्या safeguard जरूरी हैं, क्या क्या drawbacks हैं हमारे constitution में. Only after that we will be able to have a perfect sort of constitution, right? Otherwise वो perfection एक बार में constitution बना दिया नहीं आएगी. So they recognize, the constitution maker itself recognize this, that amendment की ज़रूरत ज़रूर है. ठीक है? So amendment can be long leap for the change from a slow change realized through judicial interpretation to a quicker change before it's too late. in the day and before the unamendable constitution becomes dead words to be cessed in the wake of re-evaluation. कोई बात, जुडिशरी इंटरप्रिटेशन चेंज करके दे सकती है, आर्टिकल 21 को एक्सपेंड कर सकती है विद टाइम, राइट. द सेकेंड इज द क्विक चेंज. अब हो सकता है इतना टाइम ना हो कि हम इतना वेट करें फॉर द जुडिशरी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई बिलीव यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट विशाखा गाइडलाइंस. सुनिए, विशाखा गाइडलाइंस इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरेसमेंट एट वर्क प्लेस, राइट. तो हुआ क्या था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट गेव द गाइडलाइंस बिकॉज इट हैज द पावर टू गिव गाइडलाइंस. इट हैज नो पावर टू मेक लॉज, टू मेक स्टैट्यूट्स, एक्ट्स, but it can give guidelines which according to the constitution itself has the equivalent value of law. It gave the guidelines in 2012. Now in 2017 we have the sexual harassment prevention of sexual harassment act. That is the other move, but with the interpretation they created a law nevertheless at the very beginning because of the requirement that was later on recognized by the parliament, by the legislature, and they enacted the law, right. So this is the way Professor Kagzi has depicted the requirement of amendment, that we may need some changes way too quickly. That can only happen by giving the power to someone, to some authority. We may have some safety, not making it way too flexible so that it can change overnight, right. But nevertheless it is the requirement to have amendment in the constitution. Then in Keshavananda Bharati case, it was observed that constitution makers have kept the balance between the danger of having non-amendable constitution in the first place and a constitution that is way too easily amendable. They chose a middle path. And no generation has monopoly of wisdom, nor right of fetters or future generation to mold the machinery of government according to their own requirement. It should allow people to live. It should allow people to grow. Right? The fundamental rights are not only given to those who were in 1947, it's also given to those who are born in 1990, 2020, 2023, right? Those rights are with them, and therefore those words should not be dead words by now. It should also grow, it should also change its meaning, right? So if no provision were made, the people would have a recourse to extra constitutional method like the रेवोल्यूशन कर दिया, रेफरेंडम करा लिया, अगर नहीं दोगे तो चेंज, राइट. दैट इज़ द रिक्वायरमेंट एक और, कि अगर हम चेंजेबल नहीं करेंगे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को, ज़रूरत लग रही है लेकिन बार बार चेंजेस की, तो क्या होगा उससे, यही नुकसान होगा कि रेवोल्यूशन हो जाएंगे, लोग विद्रोह कर देंगे. दैट विल बी डेट्रीमेंटल टू द कंट्री. दैट इज़ वाई खुद दे दो, चेंज करने की एबिलिटी दे दो. Dr. Ambedkar said, one can therefore safely say that Indian Federation will not suffer from the faults of rigidity of legislation. Its distinguishing feature is that it is a flexible federation. Although a federation is something that does not change, right? But we adopted a sui generis, a different kind of federation, which changes with time, a living constitution. Now let's look at Article 368, the provision itself. We will see a story here. The story of which is supreme. Is it the judiciary or is it the legislative? Under Article 368, along with the changes made in Article 368, it has been amended 3-4 times, right? Because of this is going to be reflected. First, if we look at the very heading of it, it says power of Parliament to amend the constitution and procedure thereof. Earlier, before the 24th amendment, it used to say procedure for amendment of the constitution only. Therefore, in Golaknath case, because just before this, in Golaknath, the Supreme Court questioned, right, that it just provides for the procedure, there is no power. So they came up with 24th amendment. They said, okay, we will amend it, we'll say it has the power as well as the procedure. Then moving towards Keshavananda Bharati, they said, that's easily understandable that you have the procedure as well as power. So even before this amendment, the power was already there in 368. It just provided for the procedure as well as power, but they made it explicit by making a change through the 24th amendment. Then again, a change provision. Under clause 1 it says, notwithstanding anything in this constitution, like keep every principle, everything that is being followed in the constitution apart. Parliament may, in exercise of its constituent power, armed by way of addition, variation or repeal any provision of this constitution in accordance with the procedure laid down in this article. Then again, it came with an amendment as well, right? Why? Because just before this 24th amendment in Golaknath, they differentiated between the constituent power and legislative power, and they said that the fettered power, the powers that is given to the parliament with regards to 368 is one that is at par with the legislative power, and therefore it is controlled by Article 13. To remove that lacuna again, they made an amendment. They said no, it's the constituent power. They explicitly said this word again, right? You can see the story behind Article 368 with the changes, with the amendments made in it. So they said that we can do anything, we can add any provision, we can change any provision, we can repeal anything in this constitution. We are not limited by anything. Then again, this came into the case of Keshav Nandu Bharti. They said yes, 368 provided for constituent power already, even before this amendment. You have unfettered power, correct, with regards to addition, variation or repeal of any provision. You're absolutely correct, that was already there again. So they said there was no requirement of 24th amendment. But that is, even if you have done it, it's just making it explicit now. जो पहले इनहेरेंट था, पहले इम्प्लिसिट था आर्टिकल 368 में, वो आपने एक्सप्लिसिट कर दिया. Because 24th amendment, 24th constitutional amendment was nothing but a sort of reply by the legislature against the Golaknath judgment. जो भी गोलकनाथ में कहा गया तो सबको रिपीट करके, उल्टा करके उन्होंने बताया फिर, जो कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक्सेप्ट भी किया, that yes, it is unlimited power. I believe you had a class earlier, right? Okay. थोड़ी देर की क्लास कर लेते हैं और, ठीक है? We can have a class till 6. Okay. So when we look at the first under Article 368, so you can see that it says that it has the constituent power to make change in any provision of the constitution. Then an amendment of this constitution may be initiated only by the introduction of a bill. Now this is the procedure, right? This is the method of constitution which is being given under the Article 368 already. Now we have seen that I talked about when we give the legislative power and constituent power, they cannot be given to the same person, same authority. And if they are done in that way, then you must have a different process. कुछ तो safety रखेंगे. That safety is given in this provision. It reads, an amendment of this constitution may be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either house of parliament. कोई से भी house में हो सकता है. And when the bill is passed in each house by a majority of total membership of that house, and by majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of that house present and voting, only after that it shall be presented to the president, who shall give his assent. Then again changes were made. This part ये भी amended है. इससे पहले क्या था provision? That the president had the power to not give the assent. But now, since they have amended this provision, it reads, it shall be presented to the president. President को दिया जाएगा वो bill, right? And he shall give his assent to the bill without saying anything, without questioning anything. He has no power to reject it now. And thereupon the constitution shall stand amended in accordance with the terms of the bill. और जब ये process हम follow कर लेंगे, then we can have change in the constitution. Then we can amend the constitution of India, right? But when we look at this part, do you see any involvement of states? Do you see any state legislature in this? The houses are of parliament itself. Do you see any state legislature? It's just the union that has the power, right? What happens in those cases where there is a conflict between the union and the states, right? Distribution of power in between states and the union. What happens at that case? Since we have followed federalism, right? We have, I would say, unitary federalism. कुछ तो उनका भी से होना चाहिए, कुछ तो से स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर का भी होना चाहिए. When we change those provisions which relates to federalism, it has to be ratified by half of these states. This is given under Article 368 as well. Yes, provided that, see, this is the proviso which is attached, which says provided that if such amendment seeks to make any change in Article 54, 55, 73, Chapter 4, 5, all these provisions, the amendment shall also be required to be ratified by the legislatures of not less than one half of the states. यहाँ पे आता है states की involvement. अगर इन provisions पे हो, those provisions which directly affects the federal structure of the country, in that involvement of state legislature is also done, right? And there it says that half state legislatures जो है उसको ratify कर दे. Ratify का मतलब क्या होता है? What do you mean by the term ratify? नहीं, हाँ जी, बताओ कुछ तो बोलो. Anmol, what is ratification?
Rejected.
It sounds like a negative word, it's positive.
पॉजिटिव वर्ड.
पता है वर्ड्स को ना, अगर मान लो आपको मीनिंग नहीं भी पता, वर्ड का एक सिंपल सेंस में ना नेगेटिविटी और पॉजिटिविटी देख लिया करो. रेटिफिकेशन डज साउंड लाइक नेगेटिव, बट इट्स अ पॉजिटिव वर्ड. क्या होता है रेटिफिकेशन?
It is a process, right?
Anmol is saying it to implement and to validate. आपको क्या हुआ, मान लो आप अपने घर पे हो, ठीक है, कोई काम करा रहे हो, कुछ करा रहे हो घर पे, और बाहर से कोई आया कि भैया इतना इतना खर्चा हो गया, तो आप क्या कहते हो, नहीं एक बार पापा मम्मी को आने दो, वो बता देंगे कि ये काम होना है आगे नहीं होना, ठीक है. वाई? बिकॉज यू नीड रेटिफिकेशन फ्रॉम समवन हु इज इन अथॉरिटी. When we look at the federal structure, here again, you are going to change the powers, the roles of the state legislatures, and that is why we need their validation, right? That is why we need validation from half of the legislatures of the country whenever we talk about anything involving the federal structure of the country. That is what is provided under Article 368 itself, under Clause 3 proviso. Understandable? Then nothing in Article 13 shall apply to any amendment made under this article. ये था वो change that came through the 24th amendment itself. अब तक जो पीछे की दोनों provisions थे, that was accepted by the Keshavananda Bharati case. They said it's perfectly fine. It provides for power, correct. It is unfettered power, correct. Right? It involves the president's assent is not required. It's just the people of India who are going to change. So why the president should have the power to withhold such bill? Okay, that is also correct, right? But when we talk about this part, nothing in Article 13 shall apply to any amendment made under this article. Then vice versa. Under Article 13 they amended. They said that nothing under Article 368, no amendment made under Article 368 will be termed to a law, to be a law, right? This was held to be unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. Proceeding with this, अब क्या करेंगे? पहली बार तो उन्होंने बोल दिया कि भैया वो लॉ ही नहीं होने का. फिर एक और दिमाग लगाया लेजिस्लेशन ने. क्या करा? उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, जुडिशियल रिव्यू की पावर ले लेते हैं कोर्ट्स की. They said no amendment of this constitution made or purporting to have been made under this article, whether before or after commencement of the 42nd amendment, shall be called in question in any court of any on any ground. कि जुडिशियल रिव्यू की पावर निकाल लेते हैं कोर्ट्स की, कि वो जुडिशियल रिव्यू नहीं कर पाएंगे तो डिसाइड ही नहीं कर पाएंगे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है नहीं है, राइट. सो क्लोज 4 and 5 they are altogether termed to be held to be unconstitutional by the Keshavananda Bharati case. Under 5th, they said for removal of doubt, it is hereby declared that there shall be no limitation. Again, they have said there is no limitation on the constituent power of Parliament to amend by way of addition, variation, repeat the provision of Constitution under this article. They held these last two provisions to be unconstitutional in the Keshavananda Bharati case. They said there is a limitation, and that is the basic structure doctrine. The basic structure doctrine is that limitation which limits this unfettered power of the legislature to amend the constitution. The reason is simple. Why? Because they cannot delete something from whom they are getting their powers. जहाँ से मुझे पावर मिली मैं उसी को ही उड़ा सकता हूँ, नहीं ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. दैट इज़ वाई कुछ तो प्रिंसिपल्स रहेंगे, कुछ तो वो बेसिक आइडियाज़ रहेंगे, बेसिक रूल्स रहेंगे जो हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जब बनाया था तब अडॉप्ट किए थे, एंड दे शुड ऑलवेज प्रिवेल. वी शुड अलाउ अमेंडमेंट, वी शुड अलाउ चेंजेस, येस करेक्ट, बट these principles should not be changed, right? So they have been declared invalid by Minerva Mills case later on afterwards. So then we have different procedures of amendment. अब तक हमने amendment का एक procedure देख लिया under the article 368, but then there is again simple majority. वहाँ तो आपने एक स्पेशल क्या बल्कि 368 में एक डिफरेंट तरह की आपने मेजॉरिटी देखी है, ठीक है. वहाँ पे चाहिए पहले दोनों स्टेट, दो इसमें बिल पास होगा, एक में आपको ऑफ द मेंबर्स प्रेजेंट एंड एक में 2/3 ऑफ द प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग, उसके बाद वो प्रेसिडेंट के पास जाएगा. थर्ड हमने तरीका देखा क्या, रेटिफिकेशन भी चाहिए हाफ में. सो बाय सिंपल मेजॉरिटी दैट कैन बी इफेक्टेड बाय सिंपल मेजॉरिटी रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द पासिंग ऑफ सम ऑर्डिनरी लॉ. ऑर्डिनरी लॉ का मतलब कौन सी पावर हो गई, legislative power. It is the same authority which exercises the power. The procedure is different in India. Is it the same in US? US में legislation कौन करता है? Legislation कौन करता है US में? और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट कौन करता है? चलो ये पता करके आना, लिख लो इसको क्वेश्चन को, आंसर दिस टुमारो. सो व्हेन वी लुक एट सिंपल मेजॉरिटी, द प्रोसेस इज गिवन अंडर फॉर द लेजिस्लेटिव पावर while they are trying to legislate, make laws, ordinary laws, right? The amendment contemplated Article 4, 169 to 39, etc. They are the examples. They are specifically excluded from purview of Article 368 as well. कि ठीक है, वहाँ पे simple majority चाहिए बस. If we look at special majority, it starts with that can be affected by special majority laid down in Article 368 itself. It must be affected by majority of total membership of each house and 2/3 of the not less than 2/3 of the membership of house present and voting. And then we have the third majority, special majority with ratification. वैलिडेशन आप लिख सकते हो स्लैश करके वहीं पे वैलिडेशन, सो दैट यू रिमेंबर आफ्टरवर्ड्स. भूल जाता है कई बार रेटिफिकेशन क्या था, ठीक है. तो एज करेक्टली बीइंग पॉइंटेड आउट बाय अनमोल दैट इट मीन्स टू इम्प्लीमेंट एंड टू वैलिडेट समथिंग. So that require in addition to the special majority ratification by the resolution that is being passed by the state legislatures. 2/3 को minimum. Yeah, one half. So these are the amendment which requires such ratification, starting with the extent of executive power of the union, right? Because we were talking about the federal structure. We are talking about the relationship or the distribution of power in between the union and the states. That is why whenever there is question of extent of power, executive power of the union, and there is any amendment in that, there is requirement of ratification by the states, because their rights are going to be affected. Extent of executive power of a state, if the union is trying to decrease the power given to them, then again ratification is required. Provisions dealing with Supreme Court, provisions dealing with high courts, because federalism, right? The check done by the judiciary, that is a must. If we are trying to decrease or increase the power, then again ratification is required. So अगर हम ये देखें, can we delete the Supreme Court? Can we delete the provisions relating to the Supreme Court of India? In theory, no. But as far as the provision of Article 368 goes, there is a power. With special majority and ratification, you can delete the provision of the Supreme Court. But with the coming of the basic structure doctrine, then again, they saved themselves. They said that no, judicial review is basic structure. And who is there to review? The courts. You cannot delete the courts. That's how you create the safety valve that the constitution makers envisaged at that time. We made three organs of the government for a specific purpose. They keep a check on each other. The judiciary keeps a check on each other, right? The other two organs. And it cannot be deleted from the constitution itself. High courts for union territories, distribution of legislative power between union and states, representation of states in parliament, 7th schedule, then Article 368 itself.
So शायद Article 55 भी added है. पिछली वाली slide में mentioned था.
हो सकता है वो भी हो.
है तो
55 होगा, 55 भी होगा फिर. बाकी 250 ऑनवर्ड्स भी सारे जितने डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के वो सारे भी हैं इसमें, 245 ऑनवर्ड्स. तो these are the provisions which require ratification. Why? Because we are trying to alter the foundation of the constitution itself. The foundation being federalism. We adopted federalism. Yes? Canada is the prime example. That is the prime example of federalism. Were you asking any question? So when we look at types of amendment in Kyoto Holohan case, नाम सुना है इसका केस का? आपने सुना होगा?
Yes.
क्या हुआ था इस केस में?
Exactly याद नहीं आ रहा, but हमने उसने किया था, तो मैंने आर्टिकल शायद 32 किया था.
तब भी किया था.
हाँ, तब उसने किया था.
जुडिशियल रिव्यू.
वो एंटी इलेक्शन लॉ.
जुडिशियल रिव्यू की बात हुई थी तब. टू टेक अवे जुडिशियल रिव्यू, टू ग्रांट दिस पावर टू सम अदर अथॉरिटी, राइट? जब भी बात ऐसी आती है ना कि हाँ the court cannot question something, then again it questions the judicial review power. It becomes unconstitutional. Why? Because it contravenes the basic structure of the constitution. That is how powerful the decision of Supreme Court in the case of Keshanand Bharati was. It changed the entire scenario. The scenario where the Supreme Court or the executive were always being depleted in terms of the legislature. The legislature was thought to be the supreme one, the supreme organ, the only organ which was always have ever increasing powers, right? But that was curtailed. It's funny how we people of India do not believe or do not accept those who we have elected. We say them they are corrupt, right? But we believe in judiciary and executives. We believe in IAS officers. We believe in judges whom we never interact with, whom we never elect, right? It's very funny when we do not trust our legislature. Nevertheless, that's the same process which is being followed in the Constitution. The Constitution grants them power, right? But that power is also controlled, because they grant them controlled power. Because a power in abundance is always going to be negative, going to be harmful for the country. So in Kyoto Holohan case, para 7 of 10th schedule to the Constitution, which bars the jurisdiction of the courts in respect of any matters connected with disqualification of member of house. अब 10th schedule के 7th पैरा में उन्होंने दे दिया कि जुडिशरी क्वेश्चन नहीं करेगी, राइट? जुडिशरी के पास कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है विद रिगार्ड्स टू डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन. द केस केम इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट. द सुप्रीम कोर्ट आंसर्ड कि ओके, यू आर ट्राइंग टू टेक अवे जुडिशियल रिव्यू, राइट? This is going against basic structure doctrine as has been created in the Keshavananda Bharati case. It is unconstitutional, as simple as that. That means you cannot take away the power of judiciary to check upon the constitutionality of something. Because it is not the people of India who are supreme. It is not the legislative that is supreme. It is the constitution that is supreme. हम कहते तो हैं, we the people of India created the constitution. We can change it. No, we can't. It is the constitution that has been made by the people of India, and we have given it ample powers to stay in that way, to be the supreme power. Right? That is how it is different from other laws, other legislatures. It's not equivalent to any other law, right? It's the supreme law of the land. Because without that law, chaos will occur in the entire country. अभी परसों क्या हुआ देखा है न्यूज़ में? क्लिप्स चल रही होंगी, बहुत देखी होंगी व्हाट्सएप पे स्टेटस के लोगों के. एनकाउंटर कहाँ था वो? मर्डर था, कोल्ड ब्लडेड मर्डर. दैट टू इन द मीडिया इटसेल्फ, विद मीडिया प्रेजेंट देयर, पीपल, यू नो, द पुलिस ऑफिसर्स ग्रैबिंग दोज पर्सन्स. दिन दहाड़े, मतलब दिन दहाड़े तो नहीं, बट या ओपन में ऐसे शूट आउट. दैट क्वेश्चन, दैट चैलेंजेस द रूल ऑफ लॉ, दैट चैलेंजेस द वेरी फाउंडेशन upon which the country stands. When people think that those acts are justified, that's even more questionable. What are your views, if I ask you, on encounters and these acts? Yes?
It's of course against the public order.
It's against public order. What else? Do we have provisions of encounters anywhere? Encounter टर्म तो बहुत सुनी है हमने. कहीं पे है लिखा हुआ encounter? Are there any provisions related to encounters? No. What is a legal encounter? When the police officer is just trying to protect himself, and in that case, in self-defense, the other person gets shooted at. That's what a legal encounter can be. Otherwise, there is nothing like encounter. There is nothing like legal encounter. Why should there be no encounters? अब इस पे भी कहते हैं कि भाई कई बार जुडिशरी जो है 20-30 साल लेती है डिसीजन लेने में, जस्टिस नहीं मिलता लोगों को.
So procedure laid down because the policeman doesn't have the right. Like that's not his.
That is the part. They do not have the power. They are given a separate role in the entire circle of justice, in this entire, you know, provision of rule of law. They are given a separate role, a distinctive role, that is to investigate and to exercise a few powers, to arrest, to start the investigation process, nothing else. They are not the executioner, they are not the decision takers, they are not the judiciary, they are not going to decide. But the sorry state of affairs is that they are deciding, and people are appreciating that. That's even more harmful. We should understand this part, that no, it's not their role, it's not their power. It's the judiciary that should decide. Nevertheless, so if we look at steps of amendment, a bill to amend the constitution may be introduced in either house. कर चुके हैं, I think 2-3 बार हम. Yes, Article 368 does not constitute the complete code in itself. It's not the code in entirety. Sometimes there may be some proviso, some things that stays absent. हो सकता है कुछ बात पे absent हो जाए. अब एक चीज़ देखो. But a bill which seeks to amend the provision mentioned in 368 requires in relation special majority ratification हो गया. Yes, यहाँ पे आता है. It shall be presented to the president for his assent, who shall give his assent. ठीक है, दे दिया प्रोविजन. अमेंडमेंट भी कर ली उन्होंने. अमेंडमेंट करके मैंडेट भी कर दिया प्रेसिडेंट को असेंट देने से. टाइम लिमिट है कोई?
I guess there are 20
कहाँ लिखा है? कहाँ लिखा है?
I may have read it somewhere.
No, it's there in the rules, but it's not present in Article 368 itself. That's why it's not the complete code. There may be something which is missing, some lacuna might be there. That is also dealt with in other rules, right? कि ठीक है, प्रेसिडेंट के पास कोई बिल आया, he might exercise his pocket veto. क्या होती है पॉकेट वीटो?
पॉकेट वीटो सर मतलब ये हमारे पास ये प्रेसिडेंट के पास ये पावर होती है, जैसे कि प्रेसिडेंट मतलब कोई भी बिल अगर उसको करना होता है तो वो उसे होल्ड कर सकता है।
यस।
और एक एब्सोल्यूट वीटो होता है जो कि डायरेक्टली वो मना कर सकता है। और
अब यहाँ पे देखो मना करने की पावर तो है नहीं, तो क्या करेंगे? बिल आया, पॉकेट में रख लिया, राइट? दैट इज पॉकेट वीटो, सिंपल। रख लिया पॉकेट में उठा के, कर लो कुछ भी। अगर टाइम लिमिट देंगे तो रिक्वायरमेंट है फॉलो करने की फिर तो।
हमारे यहाँ तो कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं है।
कहाँ पे? आर्टिकल 368 में नहीं है, नहीं है। बट आई हैव टू सी, आई हैव टू चेक इन द रूल्स। आई थिंक देयर इज रूल्स विद रिगार्ड्स टू दिस वेयर ही इज मैंडेटेड टू गिव हिज असेंट इन अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम फ्रेम। नहीं, इसमें तो फर्स्ट में ही है, इसमें नहीं है वो। If you talk about the amendment of the constitution, there is a different procedure. It's altogether different from simple, money bill में different है, ordinary bills में different है, amendment of the constitution में different है. It's different procedure. पता था ना, procedure different कर लो, authority same रख लो legislature की, लेकिन procedure थोड़ा से change कर लो ताकि safety रहे ज़्यादा, क्योंकि सभी power एक को ही दे दोगे तो misuse करेगा वो. That is why. तो procedure थोड़ा different है, देखना पड़ेगा। टाइम फ्रेम में देख के बताता हूँ आपको कल कि is there any time frame or not. I believe there is a time frame where the president is required to give his assent within a particular time.
Sir, I suppose it's 21 days, but I'm not sure.
21 या फिर 14 days।
देखना पड़ेगा, देख के बता सकते हैं तो। So position of Constitutional Assembly and the Parliament elected under the Constitution. Now, if we compete these two, if we compete in between the Constituent Assembly, जिसका सोल पर्पस था सिर्फ एक, क्या? इंडिया को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दे देना, ठीक है? तो ये सभी लोग ब्रेनस्टॉर्म कर रहे हैं साथ में। दे सॉ डिफरेंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ वेरियस कंट्रीज, दे ग्रैब्ड व्हाट्स गुड इन देम, दे क्रिएटेड सम न्यू सॉर्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट, विच इज एप्ट फॉर द कंट्री, विच इज सो डाइवर्स इन नेचर, where people fight for religion, where people fight for their language, right? So they created the constitution. Then we have parliament, which is elected under the constitution. Are they the same or do they have the different powers? Of course the answer is different. The parliament is one of the organ of the constitution. They created the constitution, then parliament being one of the organ of that constitution, right, having the job of legislation only, legislate करने का काम है सिर्फ इनका. So they do have different sort of arena where they operate. अब इसमें एक क्वेश्चन और बैठता है। फिर क्वेश्चन ये है कि किसकी ज़्यादा पावर होनी चाहिए with regards to changeability of the constitution. यस, आंसर कर चुके हैं इसका, हम जब शुरू में हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे। हाँ जी, should it be the people who are being elected by the people of India or should it be some assembly of powerful peoples? किसके पास ज़्यादा पावर होनी चाहिए? When we look at the parliament, it has the power of legislation, that is the legislative power, right? So if we look at this in this way, this is the legislative powers given to them, and then we have constituent powers. Which is a part of legislative power. Being exercised by the parliament. So parliament is, of course, supreme in its term, right? It has both of these power, whereas Constituent Assembly just had constituent power. यहीं से डिफ्रेंशिएशन आता है थोड़ा इनका. यहीं से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी दे ट्राइड टू एस्टैब्लिश फर्स्ट कि ठीक है अनफेटर्ड है, डरे हुए थे. जस्ट अभी अभी हमारी जो क्या हुआ ओके सो तभी अभी इंडिपेंडेंस हुए थे एंड द पार्लियामेंट वाज एक्सट्रीमली स्ट्रॉन्ग, so they never went against them. With time they developed, with time they understood कि अगर हमें भी एक ऑर्गन बनाया गया है तो we have to do our part, we have to keep a check, no matter how powerful the legislature is, no matter how powerful the executive is, because it is the role of judiciary to keep a check on these organs to ensure that the constitution is not violated. सबसे सुप्रीम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कह सकते हो लेजिस्लेटिव की है टू मेक लॉज फॉर द पीपल, बट इट इज ऑल्सो द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ जुडिशरी टू कीप अ चेक ऑन दोज, एंड फॉर दैट दे ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड डेवलपिंग, दे ऑल्सो क्रिएटेड दिस डिस्टिंक्शन इन बिटवीन लेजिस्लेटिव पावर एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट पावर. तो इसको नेक्स्ट क्लास में कंटिन्यू करेंगे.